Big show coming up. Could CD get an extension soon? We'll break that down. And guess who's back? The Honey Badger is back. We will talk about the latest on Tyrann Mathieu. Also the latest about Trevor Penning. He was kicked out of practice today. And then we'll break down the Deshaun Watson suspension news. Welcome into Saints Now. I am Will Scott talking about the latest Saints training camp news and rumors. It was an eventful day over there in New Orleans. We'll tell you what you need to know, starting with this from Nick Underhill. C.J. Gardner-Johnson has limited his activity in recent practices as he seeks a new contract per source. One of the league's top slot corners, Gardner-Johnson is entering the final year of his contract, so maybe an extension for CD coming very soon. Now, it's interesting, the wording on this, because it doesn't really sound like a holding in, because when we see players hold in, that means they're not practicing at all. CD is just limiting his activity at camp. So you're talking about the 2019 fourth-round draft pick for the Saints. He has become a fan favorite in New Orleans, has been awesome to watch, one of a couple key Saints players entering the final year of his contract. And I think a lot of Saints fans want this guy to get extended because what he means to this football team. He's been huge defensively for the Saints. Here's what he did last season. 46 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 7 sacks, 3 pass breakups, and he is Tom Brady's daddy, as we all know. Here are the highest paid corners per year. And look, CD's great, but I don't really think he's going to get anything in this range. Jair Alexander, the highest paid, $21 million per year. We saw that massive extension for Ward. And then Marshawn Lattimore, the highest paid Saints DB, $19.5 million per year, one of the highest paid corners in the league. Now, what would you pay CD? Go down in the comments section and chime in. Again, he's probably not going to get anything in the Lattimore range, but, maybe 14, 13 million per year, something like that will be interesting to follow. It appears, though, that he wants an extension, which is why he's limiting his activity in practice. Tyrann Mathieu back at practice, returned to training camp after being excused for an undisclosed personal family matter. So he missed the start of camp, missed the entire first week, but now he is back at practice. Again, it was not injury related. He was just attending to a personal family matter. Demario Davis weighing in on Twitter. When you and your dog got that same class together at Matthew_. I'd love to see that. Those two guys, as we take a look at this photo here, Davis and Mathieu at practice earlier today. Those two guys fired up to be on the same team. And, of course, the Honey Badger fired up to be back in the boot. Let's talk about Smoke Monday. No Smoke, real ones know, Young Boy NBA, one of the best rappers on the planet. Smoke Monday suffered a knee injury. Tyrann Mathieu's return is good timing because of that. And obviously Mathieu's really hyped up Smoke, and that's why the Smoke Monday news is so disappointing, because he was already becoming a favorite in the locker room. Players love him. He was playing very, very well at the start of camp, and so it's disappointing to see this knee injury happen. We're still waiting on specifics in terms of how severe of an injury it is, but it was reported by NFL Network yesterday that it appears to be a significant knee injury that the UDFA suffered at camp yesterday. Now, if you're happy to have the Honey Badger back, go down and type TM down in the comments section. Honey Badger's going to care if you don't go down there and spam TM down in the chat. Honey Badger back in Louisiana. Now, before we get into more about the Saints training camp news, need your help. Look at this. We got 61% of people that have watched our videos in the past month. They're not subscribed. That is unacceptable, because if you're all about the Saints, this is the place for you. Go down, subscribe to the channel. It's the best way to stay up to date with Saints news and Saints rumors. Some more Saints news. Trevor Penning was removed from practice after another fight. So it's Groundhog Day again. Trevor Penning is in another fight in another practice. We'll get into who he got into that fight with in a second. He was kicked out of practice today. Dennis Allen not really happy right now with Trevor Penning. So thanks to producer Trace, because we have this fight tracker here. Here is who Trevor Penning has been duking it out with at practice. Started with Peyton Turner, Then it was Taco Charlton. Then it was JT Gray. And then it was Scott Patchin, defensive lineman. So the Charlton, Gray, and Patchin fights have all happened in consecutive practices. And at first we were like, well, he's just competitive. It's not that big of a deal. Now it's maybe a reason to be concerned. You're talking about a rookie who's, he's, trying to get better in practice, but he's obviously, not having the opportunity to do that if he's going to get kicked out of practice. Now, when you watch the clips of what's going on, the first fight, the Peyton Turner fight, didn't really appear to be on Penning. I mean, you had Turner swing at him twice, and then Penning kind of fought back. But the other fights, at least the videos that we're seeing, kind of appears that it was Penning's fault. I don't believe we have any clips of the Patchin fight, but it is trending on Twitter today that he did get into another fight with Patchin. And look, we knew we were getting with Penning. We knew he was a competitor. How he responds to this will say a lot. He got kicked out of practice today. He's a rookie that got kicked out of practice. He's going to be able to go home, sit down, kind of get his thoughts together. How he responds tomorrow is going to be very, very interesting. I'm curious to see what happens at camp tomorrow. If there's another fight, you'll hear about it here. So go down, subscribe. We'll keep you up to date on the Trevor Penning situation because he has a chance to be the starting left tackle on this team, competing with Hurst for that title. You have Ryan Ramczyk as the starting right tackle, and what is going to be a decently solid Saints offensive line. Yeah, you lost Armstead, but that's the reason that you acquired 2 first-round picks in this past draft to draft Penning. He was linked to the Saints throughout the entire draft process. The Saints end up taking him and Chris Olave. I think we were all thrilled with that draft. We're still thrilled with that draft, but hopefully Trevor Penning can, maybe cool it a little bit. I like his fire. I like his competitive, I love that he's competitive, but he needs to not get kicked out of practice going forward. It is worth noting that Malcolm Roach was also removed after the fight with Penning, so it's going to be interesting to see if any video comes out of this. No video yet. I believe it was closed to the public today. Roach was involved in the fight with Penning. He was also given the boot in the boot. Let's talk about Deshaun because we have news breaking this afternoon that the NFL has decided to appeal the 6-game suspension that was handed down from third-party arbitrator Judge Sue L. Robinson. So the NFL and the NFLPA got together and were like, hey, let's have an unbiased third party come in here, and they hired Sue Robinson. Sue Robinson gave him a 6-game suspension. The NFL not happy about that. Roger Goodell is appealing, so Deshaun could get suspended a lot longer than just 6 games. It has been widely reported that the NFL is seeking at least a 1-year suspension for the quarterback that the Saints almost had. Here is the Saints' 2020 schedule, so they do play the Browns in Week 16, and man, maybe at this point Deshaun won't even be able to play in that game that will take place in Cleveland. What is your one-word reaction to the NFL appealing the Watson decision? Let me know down in the comment section. Couple of words that I'm thinking about. Number one, covering the Saints, I'm thinking I'm relieved that the Saints did not trade for Deshaun Watson. I'm very happy with Jameis. I think Jameis is going to have a big year, and unlike Deshaun, he's probably going to play this year. And then another thing is good. Good thing that the NFL is appealing the Watson suspension because 6 games is just not nearly enough when you're looking at all of the allegations against Watson. Again, if you haven't subscribed, change that. Go down, hit that big red sub button if you're a member of Who Dat Nation.